Hello everyone, I hope you are having a nice day. I have tried this 3 times and the third time is a charm, okay? You know, something goes wrong as usual. Okay, so welcome to Tarot Circle. My name is Lorena Johnson. You can find me as Palm Reading Freyja, also as well on YouTube. Today I'm just bringing you a tip about, in my opinion, okay, what is advice to do after you had selected the deck that you believe that is best for you, okay? It doesn't matter what deck in reality you have selected, as long as the deck that you have in front of you works for you, okay? If you had made the connection, if you had begun studying the cards and looking at the cards, okay, looking at what you see on the card and etc., things like that, the next thing that is going to be important for everyone to focus on is either a spread or how many cards are you gonna be reading at once, okay? I have seen many making the mistake of pulling too many cards, okay? When you pull too many cards and you are a beginner, you might get confused, you might get overwhelmed, and you decide, okay, I don't know what the cards mean, I don't know what they are trying to tell me, okay? So the first advice, it will be, okay, if you are beginning and you are still in the in the process, okay, of learning the cards, I will advise you to pull 3 cards, okay? Pull 3 cards, and let me see if I can maybe lower this a little bit so we can see the cards, okay? Pull 3 cards, okay? When you pull the cards, it will be advisable to not think, okay, I'm going to get this right away and the message should be clear for me. I will advise everyone to pull 3 cards and don't pull anything else, okay? No clarifiers, no oracle cards, no nothing. For the day that you pull those 3 cards, you look into the cards, you analyze the cards. You know, if you don't understand well the meaning of one card, then just look at it, study the card, and contemplate the cards, okay? The next day, well, also you can write about, okay, what the cards mean for me in my belief, okay, that the cards, what kind of message are they trying to tell me, okay? Maybe there can be clarity and simple, okay? Don't make it all complicated. There can be clarity about a situation, positive messages about either a work, money, or finances. Maybe there can be a way in what is there to do next, okay? You can write that down. The next day you can revise what you had write down, okay? And maybe check into that, okay? Revise it. Think about if it made sense for the day or not. Or if it didn't make sense, sometimes when you like, okay, you know what? The next day, I get what this card indicated, okay? Maybe a truth, a reality, a realization. Maybe you want something. Maybe something happened that brought clarity into something that maybe you didn't know, or something like that, okay? The next day, you can put the piece of the puzzle together. And sometimes if it doesn't come immediately, you can either even wait for the next day, okay? So the first step will be maybe 3 cards, okay? The next thing that I will consider that is important, it will be to FU, okay? For example, because in my case, when I started learning, I focus on the Celtic Cross, okay? So the Celtic Cross is a spread that has 10 cards, and maybe I will put a side image on the screen so that you can understand the spread, okay? So the spread that I'm talking about, the Celtic Cross, it has the main card in the center as the main energy, okay, of what is happening here and now. Also, the next card that goes into the spread is what is crossing that energy. It's either helping it or hindering it, okay? Then we go down to the past, and then the near past right beside it. The next thing that we do is we go into the future, into the future. Okay, we go into your fears, what is around you, energies around you. Then we go into your hopes, and then we go into the future. Okay, when we do this also as well as with any other spread, let me just show it to you. Well, I hope that you can see it, maybe not appreciate it how it should be. But if you had already begun studying tarot, then you might have come across already about the Celtic Cross. If not, please look it up, because it can be something that you might feel comfortable with doing and feel interested about learning. Okay, this is wonderful. Okay, you can start with these cards, and if at first you don't get it, what I had advised others is to break it down. Okay, you break it down into the what is in the center. Okay, then you go to the past, then you go to the future, those two cards, then the fears. You cannot read it alone, or base everything about what else you see on the spread, what is around you, following that line. Okay, following this line. Let me see if I can do this. Following this line, okay, this line, the line that is underneath. In what do you see, what is around, the situations that you deal with, are dealing with now, and will be dealing with in the future. Okay, and then we go into your hopes. For the hopes, I also like to at times, okay, read it in the line with together, sometimes with the card in the future, but that is going to be up to you with what you feel comfortable with, or with what you might feel, okay, this works for me, but that doesn't. Okay, so that is how you can do it. Also, the first cards, the center cards, you can read it as past, present, future, past, present, and future. Okay, 3 and 3. So there you have it. Okay, now one problem that I have seen, okay, in many groups over and over, is a person, okay, that it already has many cards on the table, but they keep pulling clarifiers, and another clarifier, and another clarifier. Clarify me this card, clarify me this other card. I think that yes, it's important at times to have clarifiers for that card, especially a card, okay? Especially if you like, okay, I feel like something is missing, okay? But I do not advise anyone to overwhelm yourself with too many cards, because you are gonna possibly end up with not getting a clear message. Okay, not getting a clear message, or feeling that your readings are not making sense, might discourage you from keep trying. Okay, so less cards. Okay, less cards. Progress slowly. Don't hurry yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. The other thing, okay, and this is key. It's key for everyone. Is to don't get caught up on being right. Okay, having the need to be right, and not accepting that you can be wrong. Okay, please don't do this. Please never do this. If you fall into that category, then once and again, it's going to be an obstacle for you to continue moving forward. Okay, so what is important? If you are wrong, you revise your spread, and you can look at, okay, where did my reading go wrong? What did I interpret wrong? What did I say that it's highly possible that it didn't make sense? I also highly advise you that if you begin reading for others, record the cards you pull. Okay, you can have a notebook and say, on November 11, I read for the name of that person, birthday. What was the question? I received the card of the page, the Knight of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Moon, the Hierophant. Okay, in the order that you receive them. And the question is always important, okay? Because that is what you're gonna base the reading on. So if you record that, okay, and then you sometimes revise that, then you can see, okay, maybe this is where it went wrong, or maybe, you reflect on it, okay? So not being afraid of being wrong is key. Not having the need to be right is key. If you are okay, it doesn't, I mean, if you are wrong, it doesn't matter. You continue trying. You continue improving yourself. Giving up is not an option. And once you have found that you have the passion, okay, to read cards or to read for others or help others, your motives are going to be important, okay? Why are you doing this? Maybe you can say, you know what, I feel that tarot can bring guidance to others, maybe bring clarity into a situation that they feel lost, or they are trying to find answers, okay? It's always highly advisable also as well to not tell a seeker what to do. Instead, give guidance and options. You know, like for example, you know what, I advise you to maybe talk to the people with what you are having the situations, or I will advise you to, you know, to not overreact in a certain situation. You know, you are giving advice, not always 100% telling them what to do, or that you are 100% right. Because if you ever come across a reader that tells you, I am the best, I am never wrong, I have done many readings, and I have been always successful at, you know, bringing a message across, you better be careful with that reader, because it's in my experience, okay, people that uses those lines to describe themselves always end that basing their work or their motives on ego, and not on the big picture or the real goal that that it should be, okay, is to help others with guidance, okay, as you go in life with what are your real motives or your reasons of what you want to do this. Always remember that, okay, always remember that, and always remember why did you started reading, or what brought you into the, you know, into this, because that is going to be important. Not losing your ground, or not believing that you are the almighty and that you know it all and that you have all the answers is going to be key also as well for your success, okay? So now another thing that I would like to mention, okay, once we have cards on the table, okay, what I will advise everyone is to look at the cards, okay, and you can imagine that that you are going to tell a story, okay? Like for example, once upon a time, there was a man, the just won a battle, okay? He returned to the kingdom happy and successful. When he arrived to the kingdom, he felt that there could be struggles, okay, about people fighting for the castle, or people fighting for food or things like that, okay? This is just an example, okay, to have fun. His son came rushing to him, telling him what has been happening while he was away. He spoke so quickly that he could not understand clearly everything that he was saying. Along came Paul, and Paul started telling him all the beautiful things that he had done for people around in the kingdom while he was away. There was a clear point made by the father that some things had changed and they will stay like that, and he will not bash into that. All of his all that he had done while the king was away quickly progressed into something else. People might have gotten involved. The father find a new woman, and etc. Things like that. Okay, where I'm going with this, okay? If you create the story and you try to follow truth, then that is going to give you, okay, something where to pull from, okay? Now, if at any given moment, okay, you get stuck during a reading and you like, okay, you know what? I just went blank and it happens, okay? It happens to all of us. Sometimes we want to say something and you're like, okay, I have it in my mind, but the word is not in my mouth, okay? It won't come out. What you could do in that moment, okay, that you lost it or that you like, okay, I don't know what I was saying, is to go back to the car, okay? You go back to the car, you look at the car and point at something. Let's say the horse, okay? The horse can be strong, stallion, carrying this king, or the what we see here, okay? Indicating victory, okay? The armor and the person. When you do that, okay, when you go back to the car and maybe you can pull on something, okay, these cups had spill and they look like could be painful, okay, could be painful. When you look at the image and you pull something, then you begin talking about that. One more thing also that is important, please don't feel awkward to a silence, okay? Don't feel bad to take a moment for you to absorb what you are seeing. And I'm saying this because many people feels the need, okay, just to talk. It's okay to pause. It's okay to look to the cards. It's okay to reflect on them, okay? And it's even okay to say, okay, you know what? Give me 1 second. Let me see what I can pull about this card that it will help you, because I'm receiving something, but I feel that it can be something else, okay? You take that moment, you reflect, you calm yourself down, and then you begin speaking again, okay? Silence is okay. To absorb what you are seeing is okay. You don't have to always talk, okay? Also, it is important to pause in between the reading, okay? When you are reading, to say, okay, please tell me if what I'm saying is making sense to you. Did this in reality happen? Did it happen how I describe it? Did it go how I said it went? Okay? Why is this important? Because you getting feedback, immediate feedback, when you are talking or when you are pausing, is going to bring more confidence in you, and it's also going to make you see, okay, you know what, when I see this card, it means this. And it doesn't matter, okay, if as you learn to describe the cards, this card, the book says, these cards mean something. But when you begin seeing this card and you like, okay, I remember this happened, mention it, okay, mention it. Ask the person, does it make sense to you? And the person says, yes, it makes sense to me. Okay, then you believe in what you had already experienced and what that card means for you. Not what that card means from everybody else. And I'm saying this because I have cards that this has happened to me, okay? When you notice, okay, this card is indicating this for me. When you notice those changes, then know that you are learning and you are evolving. Also, at times, okay, when we are learning, we have to begin trusting ourselves in what we are receiving. And this is a very hard thing to do because for the most part, okay, we tend to second guess ourselves. We are questionable. Okay, did I understand that correctly? Did I say the right thing? Did I express myself in the way that I should have expressed myself? Sometimes many readers beat themselves up in thinking, well, maybe I should have said it like that. I wish I would have had changed this line or this or that. Okay, please know that that is all part of the process. That is all part of learning. Okay, so The last thing I would like to mention, okay? Sometimes we see like very nice spreads out there, okay? Like for example, some spreads can have 15 cards, 16 cards, 10 cards, 8 cards, 6 cards, whatever cards they are, okay? If you feel uncomfortable with doing that, okay? Like for example, in position number 1, we have his feelings. In position number 2, we have her feelings. In position number 3, we have what is a problem in the relationship. In position number 5, we have what is working and should be looked into it in the relationship, okay? Whatever it is, okay? And it can go on and on and on and on and on with a meaning for each card, okay? If you feel that kind of spread will be choppy for you, or that it's not going to be a float in a reading, it's not gonna float, okay? When I say float, it's like the story is not gonna unfold before you in the right way. Why? Because you have to focus on the position, because you have to focus on the card, you have to focus on what that card means, and etc. Things like that, okay? It can be too many things at once. Please feel comfortable with making your own spread. Please feel comfortable in how you feel is right for you to lay down the cards. But also, please always focus on what you are doing, okay? Always focus on what you are doing, because little mistakes can be made here and there if you don't practice what you are trying to do. And with this, I will like to incorporate, okay? When you hold a deck, it's important to always hold it in the same way, okay? For example, you grab your deck. If you only read upright cards, this is going to be a must to pay attention and not to get confused, okay? Because you can begin shuffling, okay? You have your deck upright. But when you do this, you might go like this, and then you end up flipping all your cards, okay? If you do that, okay? Or if you are doing this, and you, for some reason, pick up the other half, okay? In the opposite way, you're gonna end up with flipped cards. So it's always important, pay attention, what you're doing, shuffling, not to mistakenly flip your deck, okay? Also, when pulling cards, if you are reading upright and reversals, it's going to be a must that you also as well pay attention, okay? Like for example, I designated my left hand to pull cards, and I always do it in the same way. I never use this hand. I never flap the deck to this. Why? Because that is just the way I do it, okay? You can find your own way, okay? What is comfortable for you, okay? So I'm ready, okay? I cut the deck and I began pulling cards, having the deck directly in front of me. When I pull cards, I always do it in this way, okay? Pick up the card and flip the card, set it on the table. If you are, okay, for example, taking a card and you mistakenly flip the card upside down because you didn't take it like this, then you will flip your own cards, okay? Or if you do this, okay? If I start pulling like this, I must continue pulling in this way. But if I'm pulling like this and then I do this, then you will flip your own cards and you can give the wrong information to the seeker, okay? So if you're gonna do it all like this, then do them all like this, or all like this, then do them all like this, or all like this, okay? In this way, from upside, from the top, and then you flip your own cards, okay? I don't do it like that. I always pay attention to what I'm doing, and I always cut the deck, begin pulling this card. All the cards will be pulled in the same way. If a card comes up reverse, then that is a clear indication for me that the card is in the reverse position, okay? That I have not accidentally flipped the card. So that is important tips that you must practice. Practice makes perfect. Always do it in the same way. Read the cards in the same way. For example, I'm sorry. If you begin putting your cards on the table, and the first card, was the excuse me, the one on the left, then the next one in the middle, then in the end, okay, toward the right. Always start with the card that you pull first, okay? Now, if you are accommodating, okay, you cards, putting the cards on the table in a different spread, and the first card that you pull is on the right, you must remember that, okay, in order for you to not have mix the cards, okay? This card is chasing me, okay? The King of Swords has been chasing me. I don't know what's the message yet, but I am sure, okay, that if not during the day, by tomorrow or the next day, I will know why the King of Swords has been chasing me. She has been chasing me all day. Now, it's important, okay, to know what you are doing when you are holding the deck. How to shuffle, how to not shuffle, that is going to be up to you, okay? Some people likes to do this, some people likes to really shuffle their cards, okay? Now, there is a lot of delicate cards, okay, that you might want to be careful when handling, okay? But it's always important to mix the cards well, okay? To mix them well, take your time, including you preparing, okay, your deck beforehand, shuffling it, doing what you are doing. If you think, well, I think the shuffling takes me too much time during the reading, and this is if you are face to face with someone. So if you prepare your deck and you make sure, okay, it's shuffle how I want it, then the reading can go faster, okay? Because you can just then give a few shuffles and then cut your deck. You don't have to do that, okay? I cut my deck before every reading, but you don't have to do that. Before I begin pulling cards, I'm sorry. Before I begin pulling, I cut my deck and then I begin pulling. But you don't have to do that. You can do it your own way, okay? There is no right way or there is no wrong way. The only right way is what it works for you, what you feel comfortable with, and what you had been following, okay? What you had been learning. If you do it in a certain way and you feel like, yes, this is working for me, then continue building on that. Continue building on what it works for you. And it doesn't matter if someone tells you that is not how it should be. But if it works for you and you are sure about that, okay? If you are sure about that, then continue. But please don't be stubborn. If someone tells you, you know what, that is not the way you do it, I consider that you should do it like this because this is the right way, then learn. Always be open to learn. Always be open to adapt to your knowledge, to look at new books, to look at new ways, to implement, okay? Sometimes you can say, yes, you know what? I want to look into that because I want to know how you are doing it, or what is this new thing that everybody is doing, okay? You look into that. And when you do it, okay, when you like, okay, I look into that and I know it's not for me. It's not for me. I cannot work with that. Then you are making an educated decision. You are not being stubborn, being stuck in your own ways, okay? So always be open to learn. Always be open, I'm sorry guys, to change. Always be open to change. So that is all I have for you for now. Thank you so very much, everyone, for allowing me. I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.